Hi, I'm spiritual fitness coach Shannon Lenz. It always helps to have something to look forward to, doesn't it? When the work week feels like it's never going to end, weekend plans are like a bright light at the end of the tunnel. Knowing that winter won't last forever and that spring is coming soon helps me get through the cold, dark winter. It seems to work for my kids too. When they're whining because their schoolwork feels like drudgery, they're able to find the strength to carry on once they know that recess time is coming soon. They can persevere because they know that there will be an end to the struggle and that better moments are up ahead. But sometimes the troubles just seem to pile on. The suffering feels so heavy and the struggle seems like it's never going to end. If you're feeling that way, know that you're not alone. I have felt that deep discouragement too. The Apostle Paul was no stranger to troubles piling on. In 2 Corinthians 6, 4 through 5, he listed just some of those problems: afflictions, hardships, calamities, beatings, imprisonments, riots, labors, sleepless nights, hunger. He freely preached the word of God and suffered greatly for it. What kept him going? Why didn't he just give up? Well, he told the Corinthian believers that he persevered because he had something so good to look forward to that it far outweighed the suffering he had to endure. He wrote in 2 Corinthians 4, 16 through 18, "So we do not lose heart. Though our outer self is wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day. For this light, momentary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory far beyond all comparison, as we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal." Paul didn't dwell on present sufferings, but instead looked forward to future glory. He lived in joyful expectation of eternity with Christ. That is what kept him from losing heart. That's what kept him from giving up and giving in to deep discouragement. Paul was convinced that heaven was going to be so glorious that everything he went through here on earth would seem like just a drop in the bucket by comparison. Plus, he knew that his sufferings were temporary. They had an end point. There was a light at the end of the tunnel, and when he burst into that glorious light, he knew that glory would never cease. That's why Paul was able to call things like being chased by an angry mob, beaten to within an inch of his life, being left for dead, and being thrown into prison multiple times for no legitimate legal reason, light, momentary affliction. The only way that kind of affliction can be considered light is if it is compared to a weightier goodness. It's as if Paul is saying, look, if you put my suffering on one side of the scale and the eternal weight of glory that I'm looking forward to on the other side, the scale would tip so far on the side of eternal glory that it would simply break. There's no comparison. I often read my kids an apologetic picture book called Fox and the Hard Day by J.D. Carmelinga. On one page, the illustration shows a tiny dot next to a long squiggly line that goes on and on all over the page. The text says, "Pretend that our whole life is that dot. Then pretend that line is how long we'll be with God in heaven. It goes on and on forever and never ends. The hurts in this world can seem big right now, too big. But the sadness in this life will seem very small next to our perfect forever life with God." The key to overcoming discouragement in our lives today is to look forward to eternity with Jesus. If we only focus on what we can see in this world, we will lose heart. We have to remember that this world is temporary. That's good news because it means that our trials, troubles, and tribulations are temporary too. I know it's hard to fathom now, But someday, our greatest suffering here on earth will seem like light, momentary afflictions compared to the glory that awaits us for all eternity. So don't lose heart. Here's your challenge for today. Make a list. Write down all the things that you are looking forward to in eternity. It will help you focus not on the things that are seen and temporary, but on things that are unseen and eternal. Now go and win today.